What's good, folks? Welcome back to the Furnished Mind. Remember, Christ is King. Harvard faces $1 billion donation plunge over anti-Semitism controversy. Guys, we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. They got the wrong people in positions of power, and look what's happening right now. Probably the most prestigious university on the face of the planet, Harvard University, hired the wrong leader, hired the wrong visionary, somebody who they're beginning to find out was not qualified. But let's go ahead and dive in to this story. So, President Gay has faced criticism for her recent congressional hearing where she was questioned about rising anti-Semitism on campus. Guys, this question was a complete layup.
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you not say here that it is against the code of conduct at Harvard?
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
you testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada.
It was a complete layup, a call for abuse, a call for harming, a call for genocide for an entire ethnic group is wrong, no matter who it is, guys. Why would you think it would be okay to take a stance of partiality towards another group and remain impartial towards some? Like, this was a softball question, guys. This should have been answered properly. There's only one answer, and that was no matter who the group is, whether it's they were labeled by ethnicity, race, religion, gender, disability status, you understand it's wrong. But of course, they dropped the ball. So we have the president. Now they're looking into her history. They're saying that she plagiarized her dissertation. They're saying she was never really qualified in the first place. It was more of a DEI hire. And this is it, guys. All she had to do was just do the right thing. She could have finished out her career privately, collecting her direct deposits. She would have been Gucci. But you guys wanted to play woke politics. You guys thought it was okay to introduce toxicity at this level in academia. Like, you guys understand. Look, a lot of people already understand that they take these positions in private. They just thought that, oh, this is the club. Like, we can get away with saying these things. Now we can get away with saying these things publicly. And they thought it would slide. But your delusion was just that, delusion. Well, the billionaire Ackman stated President Gay's failures have led to billions of dollars being canceled, paused, and withdrawn donations from the university. The one thing Harvard takes pride in is the fact that their endowment is one of the largest on earth. The university's endowment actually is, last time I checked, was larger than the cash reserves of like over 120 nations. Don't play with their money is what they're saying. This is the last thing you can do. And that's what she did. She played with their money. And a lot of the Jewish donors are pulling their cash. All the donation, all the money they sent, gone. This is a clear definition of what people fail to adhere to, and that's the fact that when you go woke, you go broke. Some people don't have pockets like Harvard, and they're really going to feel it. So, Chicago Mayor Johnson's administration begins filing lawsuits against operators of rogue buses of migrants. All right. So, once again, Mayor Brennan Johnson was an absolute terrible decision by the people of Chicago. You guys just went through the Lori Lightfoot era, and you had an opportunity to start anew, to go with a different direction, take a different approach, but you wanted to stay loyal to your party, the Democratic Party. And even though he gave all the red flags of somebody who's a Marxist, he's far left. You guys, of course, he's African American, and you guys wanted to take a chance again. You're trying to find your, I guess all the external check boxes are checked, and that was literally all you guys were hoping for. Like, yeah, on the outside, he has to look like us, and let's gamble to see if he actually fulfilled the promises towards the people. And he's not. Mayor Johnson's been in trouble because he's been turning their city into a sanctuary city. He's been allowing migrants to come, clearing out hotels for migrants, trying to figure out housing, relocation, prepaid cash cards, cell phones. And he was using Chicago, one of the greatest cities in the world, as a sanctuary city. A lot of citizens came out and they spoke against it, but he didn't care. He kept pushing forward. So let's go ahead and figure out why, after the retaliation of the people, he's deciding to sue the bus companies. So Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration has quietly begun filing lawsuits over what is described as rogue buses transporting migrants. An escalation the mayor has coupled with an attempt to further crack down on the transportation company. So basically he's saying, let's go ahead and place responsibility on the buses. They're rogue buses. Nobody told them where to go. We didn't tell them to come here. They just came on their own. Let's sue them. Let's sue the buses and not take accountability as the mayor of Chicago. You can't make this up. So the mayor can't take accountability, and he's blaming the buses for mindlessly just happening to wander all the way up north to Chicago, Illinois. Right. The stepped-up enforcement is the Johnson administration's latest effort to address the influx of new arrivals, which has become one of the mayor's most vexing challenges. The care of more than 24,000 migrants who have arrived in Chicago since August 22. 24,000 migrants. A lot of people want to believe that this is a coincidence. This was by accident. It just so happens they came here of all places. Guys, this was not an accident. This was part of his agenda. He planned for this to happen. And now this is his PR move. So when you guys press him again, he can say, well, no. If you check my record, if you check the history, I actually sued the rogue buses that were bringing them here. That's going to be his move. He's just playing chess. He's preparing his objection for the near future. You guys fell for it. And you voted for this guy. This is it. 24,000. The city has filed 55 lawsuits since it implemented new rules about when and where buses can arrive in mid-November, the law department said. The lawsuits address 77 total buses accused of violating the rules, and public records show at least one, or some cases are seeking fines against the bus companies. Mayor's office spokesman Casio Mendoza in a statement characterized rogue, uncoordinated buses as endangering the lives of newly arrived migrants, and said bus companies should be held accountable. So they're endangering the lives of newly arriving migrants, but they're not endangering the lives of the citizens of Chicago, the people who have to live in their communities knowing that they don't know who these people are, they're not accounted for, and they're just wandering the streets. They might feel endangered, they might have experienced assaults or other crimes, just being in close proximity to these encampments, and they're not being spoken for. You're literally saying endangering the lives of newly arrived migrants. What about the citizens of Chicago? They're the ones protesting against you. They're the ones saying they want you to step down because of your incompetence in the direction you've led this city. This is not the direction they wanted to go. Chicago wants to be restored to the Chicago of old, where they were a top city, they were a powerhouse. They want to be restored to their days of glory. And you're literally, honestly, you're doing more than Lori Lightfoot did. You're accelerating the process into oblivion. So that's where we're at here. But here we go, guys. Chicago continues to welcome asylum seekers. Shall we say more? But the city cannot safely and efficiently shelter migrants, and bus companies contracted by the state of Texas flagrantly violate all safety measures that the city has put in place. The city has announced it will crack down on buses in mid-November, laying out rules for when and where buses could drop off migrants. Buses are capped at 2 per hour and limited to drop-offs between 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. You guys, this is a joke. Chicago, you're finished. You guys, citizens of Chicago, you're finished. They don't care. It's over. Just give up. You guys can complain, you can march, you can say what you want. It's over. The man literally outlined the schedule Monday through Friday, 2 buses an hour, drop-off times. He doesn't care that you're protesting for him to step down. It's over. He's locked in. This is it, man. People need to start being more intelligent about their votes. We can't keep voting because of party and because of race. Let's keep it a buck. We have to keep it a buck. We can't keep voting because of he looks like me. I feel represented because he looks like me, and so we're going to give him a shot. They're telling you what they're going to do up front. Stop. Now we have to see Chicago and San Francisco, 2 great cities, die in slow motion. For what? Well, listen, guys. I'm going to keep saying these things because we understand Christ is king. A lot of these initiatives that we're seeing happen to our major cities are by design. It's not accident. Chicago, New York City, man, San Fran, LA. They need to prepare for the beast system. There's an antichrist system that needs to be implemented before the antichrist steps on the scene. And a lot of people, if you're not privy to what the Bible tells you, you need to start paying attention. Because if you're not, these things look like random isolated events. But for those of us who understand, for those of us who are paying attention, we understand that we can watch the pieces move in slow motion and they just so happen to always fall into the right place. Not by accident. So we're going to see a lot of these cities that represent success stories for capitalism. We're going to see them die off because we can't have the people bear witness to capitalist societies that work, that are efficient, that lift people out of poverty. Because if they do, they're never going to sever that relationship. They need people to fall in love with communism. They need people to fall in love with the idea that only the government is strong enough, efficient enough, has enough wisdom to properly provide for its citizens. They don't want people stepping outside of that power structure. They don't want people having hope in individual transactions and starting businesses that are successful, that for those who innovate products and services. They don't want you believing in that because you're going to go right back and step into that world of capitalism again. They want you to believe that only government can innovate. Only government can invent things that are worthy. And as long as you look to them to provide all your needs, we're going to see more major cities collapse. It's not a coincidence. But you guys let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me down in the comments. If you agree, let me know. Tell me what you've been seeing. What other cities are kind of going through these birth pains. Just go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Leave those comments down below. Again, remember, Christ is king. These things shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Deuces.